Welcome to Library Out Loud, a conversation about any and all things related to the Spokane County Library District. Library Out Loud is brought to you by the Spokane County Library District and our friends at STCU. Now, here's your host, Jane Baker.
Hello and welcome to Library Out Loud. I'm Jane Baker, the Communication and Development Director for the Spokane County Library District. Joining me today, Stacey Goddard, with the your Library Services Manager at the district. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me,
You're
Jane.
a busy lady. You have so many things going on with the library, and we're going to talk about just a few of those today.
That sounds
great. Well, we're going to start out by talking about Money Smart Week.
Fantastic.
Money Smart Week is coming up April 21st through the 28th.
Yes.
Okay, so what is Money Smart Week?
You know, I'm glad you asked. I thought you might ask, so I did a little research, as librarians do when they're thinking they're going to be asked a question. And it turns out this is the 7th year that this has been an initiative with the American Library Association.
Really?
And they are in partnership with the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, which a lot of people have heard about the Fed, and I think they just raised interest rates a little bit, unfortunately. But the idea with Money Smart Week is to raise awareness across the United States, across all ages, of what people can be doing to help their financial situation out. And people think financial literacy, it already sounds boring, but there's so many things that
it does.
I know, you're probably going to fall asleep right now. But aside from like figuring out a budget, which I'm terrible at, to how do you start saving, it's never too late to start saving money, to what do you need to do to prepare if you want to buy a house. You can't just decide, hey, I'm going to go write a check and buy a house. I think some people think that, but unfortunately, no. If you're wanting to get into investing and what you would do with first steps for that, because that whole thing is really overwhelming, to things like protecting your identity, that's part of financial literacy.
Sure, very important these days.
Right,
Yeah.
shredding documents so that people can't grab your stuff and then charge up a whole bunch of debt under your name. And getting those habits instilled early in children. I don't know about you growing up, but when I was growing up, my parents set the worst example. Hopefully they're not going to watch this. Sorry, Mom and Dad. But they had a lot of credit card debt, and growing up, I just thought, well, that's what I'll do. I'll get all the credit cards I can, and I'll charge them up. And I had a very unfortunate 20s period of life, and I wish I had known a little bit about how interest worked and minimum payments and things. So Money Smart Week is a concentrated effort to really shine a spotlight on those topics once a year.
And that's a great partnership with the library. Interesting, American Library Association had the forethought to think of this because, we work at the library. We know the stereotype of library is that we're nothing but books and reading, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there's also another type of literacy, and that's this financial. So to partner with the feds, the Federal Reserve, and the libraries, great relationship to come up with Money Smart Week. So it's more than just helping people read, but helping people understand numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's a great literacy, and I agree with you. My parents said they were great with money, but I grew up in an era where it wasn't important to teach that. I think my parents just assumed that I would learn these things in school. And you don't always learn these things in school. I remember a business math class where they taught you how to balance a checkbook, which is great, but nowhere did they explain the balance, the whole balance sheet of income and expenses and how to budget and those type of things. That just didn't happen in a public school.
No.
And with my parents assuming school would teach it, I ended up entering adulthood and had a 20s, probably similar to what you were talking about.
Oh no.
You're trying, you're doing the best you can, and you're on your own for the first time. You have rent, student loan payments, which oh my gosh are
terrible.
Yes.
That's a whole
nother topic.
Gosh.
Right. I feel like I will be paying I get my student loan bill, and an AARP card at the
Oh,
same
no.
time. That's the way it seems like it's going to be.
Right.
But these are some of the things that Money Smart Week can help educate people about, and not just
Definitely.
kids.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny you say that about schools. And we have some great local partnerships in that. I know you're going to talk about programming. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm just blown away by how much they are teaching in schools now.
Wow.
Because we definitely didn't have that, where somebody would come in from a financial institution and think about the choices you're making now and how that's going to affect your
Yeah.
long-term ability to
Yes.
buy a house, or whether or not someone's going to get married to you because your debt is, you know, more than they make in a year, or what have you.
Or whether you're going to marry that person,
Exactly,
right? Yes.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So it's great that there are these programs that are happening in the schools, but I think anything we can do to complement that is a good thing. So
Agree. It's good to know that the schools have started, not that they haven't always taught life skills, but, you know, this life skill seems to have become more important
Right.
in the school system. So that's a good thing. And we've partnered, we had some great exhibits last year as
did.
well with middle schools
Yes.
and financial literacy. So we're just continuing that. We also have a great partnership with a couple organizations in town,
We do.
one of them being STCU.
Yes.
And they are great at financial education, so we partner with them, and a lot
Yes.
of their programs are at our libraries.
They are, and I will say, I know we're going to talk specifically about some programs, but for people that are watching and listening, Money is Smart Week isn't your only opportunity. We do my service priority. Our team focuses on financial literacy as one of our goals, and so we have things going on every month. So if April 21st through the 28th don't work out, don't worry, there'll be other offerings.
Yes.
Unless you want the shred day, you're going to
Yes.
need to pop in for that. But yes, we definitely, Spokane Teachers Credit Union does a whole variety of topics, including budgeting, investing, just a whole variety. I'm blanking on just organizing, like how do you organize your finances, and just figuring out when things are due so that you can kind of prioritize, like, this is when I get my paycheck, this is when the rent is due. I like having a roof over my head. I make sure I need to pay that first. And don't go out partying, 3 nights in a week just so that you can maybe save a little money for groceries and whatnot.
Sure. And it was also an STCU workshop that helped me organize all my paperwork in case something happened.
Yes.
And that's something that we don't always prepare for. Who knows, when you could be in a car accident or something comes up where somebody needs to know your financial information.
Right.
And I had it everywhere, it
Yeah.
was all over the place, and they helped me get organized and get it all into one place and how to keep it updated and all those type of things. So,
Yeah.
great
And that's
classes.
a conversation that people don't like to have. They don't like to think about that.
Sure.
And do they still give a binder? They used to give a binder for that, like an organizer.
Yeah,
so you
at the
could
time
say-
I did it, that's what I received was a binder. And I have
here's
to
all my
admit I've
insurance.
updated that a little bit now
good.
to an not online, but at least on my computer with a thumb drive, and my family knows where it is.
That's good.
Yeah.
See, you took the teachings and you expanded on them.
Sure,
They'd be so
sure.
proud. That's awesome.
Well-
It's difficult, but if you take that time and it's a little uncomfortable, it's so worth it in the long run.
Absolutely, because if something does happen and your family is already concerned, the last thing they need to do is try and find everything, and
Right.
we don't always know how the other person, even your spouse, on how they organize stuff or
Right,
where do they
where
keep
did this piece of
everything.
paper go?
Right.
Where are these medical?
Right. So STCU is a great
are.
partner for us, but they're not our only partner.
They are not.
No. We're also doing some work with SNAP.
Yeah.
Can talk about that
I
partnership.
shall. Yes, thank you. Just like you're saying, libraries people think about reading and that sort of literacy. I think that especially people who've lived in Spokane a long time, they hear SNAP and they think energy help
Yes.
paying your energy assistance bill. But SNAP actually does so much more than that. They're involved in a variety of things, including business loans, helping small business owners, entrepreneurs. But they have a huge arm that's financial literacy. And for the last several years, they've done monthly workshops at our libraries. They've got one called Give Yourself a Raise that will talk about some of the things we were discussing already, budgeting, how to avoid money troubles, the dangers of predatory lending. People think those check cashing places are great.
Oh, yeah.
But you can dig yourself into a real hole really quickly because the interest they charge is unbelievable. And so you think, this is great, I get these $300 right now, but then you end up having to pay back more than you originally loaned, and it's just terrible.
Yeah.
So things that you just aren't aware are happening. They do another one that's one on how to repair your credit score, because everybody gets into trouble. When I came out of my 20s and was looking at how to pay for graduate school, I was like, ooh, my credit score is not the best.
Yeah.
And their workshop will talk about the steps you can take to go about repairing your credit. And it's not going to happen overnight, just like I didn't damage my credit overnight. It took a whole decade. But they'll talk about habits you can get into and steps you can take to repair your credit. Something we're really excited about with SNAP that we've been doing now for over a year with them is they also offer a home buyer education seminar with us monthly, 2 times a month. And these classes are all free, but these will talk about the steps that you need to take and things that you need to consider as you're looking at home ownership.
Super popular classes.
They are.
Especially right now as homeowner season or home buying season seems to be kicking in.
It is.
And our economy seems to be moving along in a way in which people are looking to buy homes more. So you get a certificate out of this class.
Yes, if you attend the class, you get a certificate, and it will qualify you for some loans or some better rates potentially if the house is oh my gosh, I'm going to blank on what it is, but there's some special qualifications or categories for housing, like if it's a FHA loan or if you're a veteran. There's some other financing that are there's a whole, but I've sat in on this class a couple times because I'm just interested in what the presenters were covering. And there's a whole variety of financing options that I wasn't aware of.
Wow.
I don't qualify, like I'm not a veteran, so I'm not going to qualify for that, but there are a number of other things.
Other programs.
Yeah.
Wow. So much information and good stuff too. And we have more to talk about. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back talking with Stacey Goddard from the Spokane County Library District on Library Out Loud. We'll be right back.
Is your child having trouble coping with a personal disability, but don't know where to go? Consider our friends at Breakthrough Incorporated. Breakthrough takes great pride in mentoring their DDA clients who have intellectual disabilities and their BRS clients who have challenging behaviors toward the creation of safe, appropriate, ethically sound life goals. They integrate programs at school and home to enrich their lives. They work hard to make a positive difference in you and your family's lives. Breakthrough provides a highly structured, fully staffed residential setting in local neighborhoods, 6 in Spokane and 2 in the Tri-Cities. Diagnoses affect people differently, so their service to each resident is unique, giving them the opportunity to grow and evolve. For more information on Breakthrough, visit their website at breakthroughincorporated.org.
Hi, this is Kurt Stockwell with Well Dressed Walrus. We are a local website design and development company here in Spokane. What we do is build beautiful, usable websites for local businesses. A website needs to be beautiful, it needs to be usable for your users, your customers, and yourself. Contact us anytime. We'd love to talk with you about your online marketing.
What? You haven't been to the library lately? Stop in today and see that the library is more than books. Spokane County Library District facilities feature on-site technology, including Wi-Fi, computers, and printers, as well as free use of meeting rooms. The Library District offers events and programs for all ages, from story times to career development and employer classes to Social Security workshops. Our staff is well trained and happy to help. Find out more about your library at scld.org.
Hello and welcome to Library Out Loud, or welcome back, I should say. I'm Jane Baker, and with me today is Library Services Manager Stacey Goddard, also from the Spokane County Library District. And we were talking, well, you mentioned service priorities. We have 4 as part of our service goals
Yeah.
for the library, and yours happens to include financial literacy, which is what we're talking about today.
It
And
is.
we were just talking about the home buyer education seminars that we've been holding at the library in partnership with SNAP.
Yes.
And these programs are very popular,
They are.
and they fill up quickly.
They do.
And they do require a registration to make sure you get a seat. So if you're interested in that, you could go to,
You can actually go to our calendar on our website,
there you go.
and it has all the information on who to contact
Mm-hmm.
to register. SNAP prefers to handle the registration for these classes themselves
Mm-hmm.
because they're advertising throughout Spokane County.
Sure.
And so there's just contact information there that you can find on our
So
website.
go to scld.org, and then there's
then
an event
events.
calendar, and choose the dates, or even search
Just search
on
home
their
buyer.
home buyer
Yep.
education seminar, and it'll come up. And you
Yeah.
can get registered and attend. It's very popular, and they do fill up quickly. And we're
Completely
going to be,
free, by the way.
we'll be holding more this summer, correct?
Yes. Yep,
Okay.
we
Great.
do. Yeah, I think December is the only month they take off because they figure people have other things
Sure,
going on
sure.
during the holidays. So
That's true.
Maybe
So-
not the best time to buy a house and move. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know.
could be a nice Christmas gift.
True enough.
All right. So, along with the Home Buyer Education Seminar and the Give Yourself a Raise program from SNAP, we have a few other things going on during Money Smart Week, which is our topic today. Money Smart Week is cooperation between libraries and the Federal Reserve in helping promote financial literacy.
You've got it.
And it is the week of April 21st through the 28th
Yes.
this year.
Yep.
So we're celebrating Money Smart Week at the libraries. What else do we have going on?
Well, real quickly, I wanted to mention that we've got a few investment programs because that is a question we get asked a lot.
Sure.
And that's a tricky topic, that's easy for me to say, to present to library customers because we don't want to bring in a presenter whose goal is to sell you a product.
Absolutely.
So finding somebody that's non-biased that doesn't have a product to sell. But we're going to have a group of students from Whitworth who have an investment club there at North Spokane on Thursday, April 26th, to talk about investing, things to consider when you're looking at, I have a little extra money. How do I decide to get into investing? So they'll go through the process. And give you an overview. We also have an investment club meeting. If you're not sure what an investment club is, we have the local chapter of the of Better Investing. It's the Inland Empire chapter. They have a monthly meeting where they talk about, they go through and look at. They'll do research. They'll research a particular stock or investment that they're thinking about. So they don't just say, oh, that one looks cool or I like that product. They'll actually look at the performance long term. I attended this last year. This was a program we offered last year. And they'll talk about, as a group, they'll vote on where they want to put their money. They pool their money together.
Oh, interesting.
And I don't think there's we each have to contribute X amount of dollars, but everybody's kind of in it together and they make the decisions together. So that one's fascinating if you're not sure. And I think an investment club is kind of a fun and lower risk way to get involved so that it's not all just on you.
And it's okay to just go in and sit in on it and listen to how they make those decisions and
Yes.
just
Yep.
to learn about, oh, fascinating.
So last year when I attended their meeting, they had a report on a company that they were considering investing in, and the person that had done the research went through the whole process or went through the information that they discovered, and then they had people reporting on things that they had been investing on and what the performance was, and then they were deciding whether or not to sell their stock in one company because it wasn't performing as well. So it was just all fascinating to me because I don't know anything about investing. So.
Sure. And the stock market these days is pretty crazy. You know, it's looking so good, and then it'll take a dive. And I don't know a lot about investing either, although I know I have some, 401k type,
Right.
and it's like, yay. Oh, it went down. What does that mean? Should I move it? Should I leave it?
Right.
What do you do? And it'd be interesting to hear what the process is.
Yes.
And that class is coming up on, or it's a meeting actually, coming up on Saturday, April 21st at the Argonne Library from
Yes.
1 until 3:30. And you can just show up. You don't need
Yep.
to
Don't need to
register or
register.
anything.
And then that same group is going to be doing this introduction to stock investing workshop for us, and that's at Marin Prairie on Wednesday, April 25th.
Oh.
And they are going to talk about the things that you need to think about or consider when you're getting into stock investing on your own.
Oh,
The
good.
tools that are available. There are a number of online things, and actually Better Investing is a national organization, and they have rules that they need to follow. So it's not just, some fly-by-night company saying, here, buy this, it's awesome, and I'm going to get a commission. It's they have some techniques and some tools that are available for us to use.
Wow, very interesting. And I want to mention again something you touched on. Our programs at the library are they're vetted in a way. There's nobody selling anything.
Correct.
Nobody favoring one stock or organization over another. It's unbiased, honest
Yes.
information.
Yep.
And some assistance on how to use the information, but nobody's trying to sell you anything.
Correct.
And there's no charge to attend these classes and meetings. You can come and just learn, which is what we're all about.
Exactly.
Right? All right.
Exactly.
Great. That's some great things coming up. Also, our most popular thing,
Yes, exactly.
Shred Day.
Shred Day. I've
Yes.
got a big box at home that I'm just waiting for.
I
April.
too.
Oh my gosh.
And it's perfectly timed because it's after tax day.
Yep.
Tax season's over, and then, go clean out all the stuff after your income tax. And then we have a free shred day.
Yep.
And it is on Saturday,
It is on Saturday.
April 28th.
Yep, at our North Spokane Library and our Spokane Valley Library.
2 locations from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yep.
Just come, bring your box of stuff to shred or boxes or whatever. And
Yep.
DeVries
DeVries,
is
yes.
there, and you just hand
They've
it
got
over.
their big
and-
shredder truck, and it's in the parking lot. You won't be able to miss it. We'll have probably orange cones so that people know not to park too close, but you can bring your box of shredding, and they'll take it and probably shred it right before your eyes.
Right in
So-
front of you. Yes, that's great. So very popular.
Yes.
Shred Day is always popular,
It
and
is.
it's free, and it's at 2 locations, so it's convenient as
Yes.
well for North Spokane and Spokane Valley. Again, that's Saturday the 28th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yes, hopefully
lo-
we'll see you all there.
Shred Day is a fun time.
It
Yeah.
is. It's just like the kickoff for spring cleaning for me, because you get a huge box of things out of the house, and
Yep.
then you can make other clean spots in your house.
Awesome. And then you can go buy something new to
Oh,
fit in there. No,
sure,
no. All right, let's
okay.
go back to talking about our finances. Yeah. Just kidding there. Another program that we have coming up, it's not part of Money Smart Week, but it is a smart way to save some money.
It is.
And that is our annual Food for Fines
Yes.
week. And this is our 6th year.
I can't believe it's been 6 years already. I was
Yeah.
looking back at the past years, and yeah, it's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And so for Food for Fines what will happen is if someone wants to donate a non-perishable food item,
Mm-hmm.
we can forgive $2 in overdue fines for each non-perishable food item up to $20 worth of fines forgiven.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
if you bring in 10 items, we will be happy to forgive $20 in
$20 off of your fine. So this is our annual food drive, and it's a good time of the year for the food banks because we all know everybody is very generous at the holidays, and they donate lots of food and help families get through the holidays. But this is the time of the year when the food bank shelves are starting to look a little more bare, and they do need the additional assistance and donations. So
Yes.
our Food for Fines happens during National Library Week.
We've got a whole bunch of weeks going
We
on.
have
this
weeks,
month.
yeah. Every week
6
is
months.
something. So April 8th
Yes.
through the 14th. April 8th through the 14th at all 11 of our libraries.
Correct.
And it's Food for Fines. Bring in a can of food or 2 and have your fines reduced. And if you don't have fines, you can still donate to the
Yes.
food banks. And then we distribute all that through Second Harvest.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes, we're happy. Sometimes it's hard to get to the donation center, so this might be the week that you say, hey, I can clean up my cupboard a little bit.
Right.
And we're happy to, you're always welcome to donate more
Mm-hmm.
than what you'd like to have your fines forgiven for, and we'll be happy to get that off to the
And
food
or
bank.
even if you don't have fines. Yeah.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes, good point.
And over the 6 years we've done this, or the 5 previous years that we've done this, we've donated over 19,000 pounds of food.
I'm glad you had the number. I was looking and I could only find the last 2 years. So yeah, that's fantastic.
So that's coming up April 8th through the 14th, Food for Fines Week at the library and all 11 of our libraries. And if you want to know more about that, go to scld.org, and you can find out information on Food for Fines, Money Smart Week, all the great programs Stacey's been talking about, and more.
Always more.
There's always more on our website. So that's great. Thank you for being here today, Stacey, and talking about Money Smart Week. Great. We'll have you back again because you're a busy lady and you got more things coming up.
Sounds fantastic.
So until then, and until next time, this has been Library Out Loud. We'll see you then.
Library Out Loud is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksOnline.com, which is solely responsible for its content. Ask a question, recommend a guest, and hear this program again online anytime at SpokaneTalksOnline.com. Library Out Loud is brought to you by the Spokane County Library District and STCU. Go visit and explore your local library today.